Feeling about the corner position, Jason, and what's the draft have to offer at cornerback?
Yeah, there's a lot. It's pretty good draft there throughout the entire draft. We'll see how it falls to us, but we could use some help there, whether it's at the depth, whatever it is, we could use some help there.
We don't have a lot of depth. I mean, that's crystal clear. We don't have a lot of depth, and we hope to address that at some point in the draft as well, obviously. And we didn't sign many in free agency. We signed Vendor, and we signed back Bryce. He's coming off an injury. We got to see what Vendor can do, obviously, but we're going to address that in the draft. Like I said, everybody's position's up for grabs. I think Zion probably 1A, 1B because Zion stayed healthier during the year. Dean's got to get healthy. And, he comes in and he plays. You can't play half a year every couple years, and he understands he's got to get healthy. He's doing everything he can to be healthy, but we got to have some depth there just in case. And if somebody comes in and competes with him, he's going to have to compete.
Hello, Bucs fans. Welcome back to Real Bucs Talk. In today's video, we're going to talk about the Buccaneers secondary. It's been, a hot topic this offseason. It's somewhere where the Bucs have to improve. They have to get better overall. And you heard it there from Jason Light and Todd Bowles talk about how the depth is pretty good in this year's draft for secondary, especially at corner and safety. So there is going to be options there to address the depth and add more to the secondary, bring in competition, like Coach Bowles said. It's, it was pretty obvious that they are going to take secondary at some point in this draft, whether it's early, which I suspect I'd expect it to either be in round 1 or definitely round 2 for sure. They're going to address the secondary if the options present itself. And, at some point in this draft, I think they're going to come out away with maybe 2 corners, maybe a safety as well. We'll just have to see. But I thought it was interesting how he talked about, Coach Bowles talking about how we just don't have a lot of depth right now. And to a point, he is correct because, Bryce Hall, they brought him back, but he's coming in off of injury. Kendall Vildor is a guy who's basically been, starter at some point, but he's better suited to probably be your CB4, CB5. So I think you've improved that aspect of the room. And then safety depth, there's really not much proven behind Antoine Winfield and Tyke Smith, who looks like he's going to be the strong safety. You have Christian Izien as well, but not much after that with Kayvon Merriweather. And then you have a couple of younger guys that haven't seen the field. So, depth, I think, is definitely somewhere where they want to be better at. They want to address it. And I think Todd Bowles understands, I need secondary players that I can count on, especially after the injuries that have gone and happened throughout the last couple of years. And, he talked about, Jamel Dean and Zion McCollum, Zion basically being the top guy right now. And I think that is correct statement. I think Zion is someone that is going to continue to progress, and he's entering his 4th year in the NFL, 2nd year full-time starting. And I thought he did very well last year from, just improving overall. He got more pass deflections. He had 17. He had 2 interceptions, and for the most part played really well. I think he's going to continue to grow and learn, which will be good for him, and continue to get better. So you hope he takes a step forward. And then the obvious comment with Jamel Dean, he's just got to be healthy. He hasn't been healthy. He's been missing games here and there. He's missed games where he goes out in the first half, comes back later, but it's been an issue for him. He's never played a full season, as you see there. He's never played a full 16 or 17 games. Always had something, happen with him. And I think it's a big season for Jamel Dean if he wants to continue to be on this team, because if they draft a corner early, there could be an option where Jamel Dean, gets released and they save that money that they will get with letting him go. The ball production hasn't been there lately. He's only had one pick in the last 2 years. Hasn't really played well since 22, where he was much better. 2021, 2020, those were solid years for him where he was doing some good things. But the last 2 years has just been up and down for him. And I think, he gets a lot of hate from fans because obviously he just hasn't been reliable, hasn't been able to make plays on the football. So I found it very intriguing when he said, if there's going to be competition, he's going to have to compete. And I think that is really good, a really good idea and good move for the Buccaneers to bring in more secondary competition and make these guys earn, their positions. And I think Jamel Dean is definitely on the hot seat. It will be it remains to be seen, what happens as far as we go throughout the offseason and obviously what takes place during the draft. If they add a guy like, Savone Ravel or maybe a Ben Morrison in the second round or Darian Porter, one of those names, Trey Amos. So those are definitely options that they could look to and add. So I'm just excited that the Buccaneers understand what their priorities are. They understand they need more secondary help. They could use, more, front line, whether that be edge or defensive tackle. And then obviously adding more to the linebacker room to see if Servassier can ascend. That's a video, that's our last video that we talked about. Can Servassier be that guy for them as they're putting high expectations on him, but they're not, immune to the fact that they're going to continue to add to that position and add depth so there can be good competition and he can ascend to earning that full-time role as a starting linebacker. And I think that's the same thing that's going to happen with the Buccaneers secondary as we go forward and move on from the draft and see what the overall roster looks like. So that should be a lot of fun. Anyway, Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to hit the like button. Comment down below your thoughts of the Buccaneers' plan to address the secondary in the draft. It is pretty obvious that they are going to add at least a few players there this coming draft. So I think that's a good move. Let us know what you guys think. Is there any specific targets you want the Buccaneers to ensure? Let us know. And it should be a fun couple of weeks here as we're getting closer to the NFL draft. And with that said, until the next one.